Hey guys, it's Danny, and today I am sharing a very simple, extremely delicious weeknight beef and broccoli stir fry. Now, for the beef, I'm going to be using this grass-fed beef sirloin tips. They're a very lean cut of beef, and I got this from a company called ButcherBox. Now, I'm very excited about this company because, as you guys know, I am very passionate about high quality meats. I think if it's one place to invest your money in the kitchen, it's probably your meats and your dairies. But I know that for many people, it can be very difficult to locate good quality meats depending on where you live. So ButcherBox is a company. It is a monthly subscription. You do it right online, and they deliver high quality meat right to your door. So they do grass-fed beef, they do organic pasture chicken, and they do heritage breed pork. And you can decide what kind of box you want to get, one or the other or a combination. So I'm going to just show you guys. For example, I ordered the combination box, and this is what I got in the mail. First of all, it all comes to your doorstep, frozen rock solid. And then when you open the box, there's this handy dandy red tote, which is insulated on the inside. So I thought this was great because once you unload all of your meat, you have this great bag that you can bring to the grocery store. And if you're buying anything cold or frozen, it will keep it cold on your travels. Plus we get to keep it extra green and clean because you're bringing your own grocery bag to the grocery store. So let me show you some of the stuff that came in my box. So the first thing that I have is I have two all-natural grass-fed beef tri-tip steaks, and these are great on the grill or even slow roasted in the oven. I also have 2 pounds, 1 pound each, of grass-fed beef. So this is really great to keep in the freezer because I like this for things like meatballs or meatloaf, or if I'm doing stuffed peppers, one of my favorite things to keep on hand for quick meals. Another thing I have here is a couple of boneless, skinless chicken breast. Okay, so 2 nice big packs of that. And then we have 4, I'm going to pile these right on top, okay? 4 all-natural pork rib chops. So basically pork chops. And that's another thing I like about this box is that some of these things I wouldn't necessarily buy at the grocery store, which then encouraged me and my family to try new things. And you guys know that I love that. And then the last thing in here was a pack of uncured, no sugar added hickory smoked bacon. And again, this is all super high quality meat, which is very important to me. Every box comes with about 7 to 10 pounds of meat in the box. And for me, I would rather upgrade the quality of the meat that my family is eating and then pull back on the amount of meat we're eating, especially if it's a budget thing, right? So I just wanted to introduce you guys to ButcherBox. I know, like I said before, it can be hard to find good quality meats depending on where you live. So I also reached out to them, and they have agreed to offer anybody in the Clean and Delicious community a $15 coupon off of your first subscription, along with a free pack of their no sugar added, Whole30 approved bacon. So if you guys are interested in that deal, I'm going to leave a link down in the description box below. You're going to use code Clean and Delicious, and then you can give this a try for yourself and see what you think, okay? Now, for the recipe that I'm going to be making today, I am using the beef sirloin tips, which are a very lean cut of meat, but as you can see, they come in like nice hearty bite-sized chunks. So what I like to do is cut them into smaller pieces, kind of like strips. This way they cook up a little bit faster and you feel like you're eating more meat, even though really you're eating a big pile of veggies with your meat. Then once I've got all my meat cut up, I washed my hands, and I'm going to create a little bit of a coating, like a slurry to coat the beef. So all you're going to do is combine a couple tablespoons of cornstarch, a little bit of water, and some garlic powder for flavor. Gently whisk that all together, and then I'm just going to toss my beef in there and make sure all the beef is slightly coated in that slurry. This is what's going to create that little viscosity, the sauce that you get when you have a chicken and broccoli or a beef and broccoli. Then once I have my meat all set up and ready to go, I'm just gonna prep the rest of the ingredients, because whenever you are making a stir fry, you have to remember that once you start cooking, things go very quickly. So you wanna get all your ingredients prepped before you get to the stove. So the next thing I'm doing is prepping up my veggies. I already have 4 cups of broccoli florets trimmed and ready to go. And then I'm also going to cut a bell pepper into strips. Now when I cut my peppers, what I like to do, I find the easiest way to do it is to cut all the pepper cheeks off. So you come across the sides, cut those pepper cheeks, get the bottom, and then I just cut these into nice thin strips. And you can really use any bell pepper that you have on hand. I personally like this red with the green broccoli. I just like the color contrast, but they would all work. Get that into a little bowl so it's ready to take to the stove. And then the only other vegetable that I need is half of an onion, and we're gonna use half the onion. I'm gonna cut into half moons, right? So to do that, we're gonna trim off the stem. Then you just slice the onion down in half, pull off that outer peel. And since we're going for half moons, I trim off the root as well, and then just come across nice thin half moons. And you know what? I'm gonna bring this back the other way and go in half again, just because that was kind of a big onion. Okay, then into the bowl, separate them. And the veggies are also ready to go. And then the final thing that I'm gonna do is make a finishing sauce. It's just like a stir fry sauce. So all I have here is a 1/3 cup of low sodium soy sauce. And to that I am adding 1 tablespoon of fresh grated ginger. Now if you don't have fresh grated ginger, you could do 1 teaspoon of dry ginger. That would work perfectly fine. And then 1 tablespoon of coconut sugar. This is just gonna round out the flavors, and it gives it a little slight sweetness. And then just 1 more tablespoon of the cornstarch. And all that's gonna do is add that viscosity to the stir fry and thicken up the sauce a little bit. And then you're just gonna whisk that until all those little chunks are gone and it's nice and smooth. And you know what, guys, I almost forgot. I also wanna add to this a 1/2 cup of water. But since this bowl is so small, what I'm gonna do is add this mixture into my spouted cup that already has a 1/2 cup of water inside. And then this will be our finishing sauce. Okay, so we've got all the ingredients prepped. They're ready to go. We are at the stove. I'm going to get my heat to a medium high. And as you can see, I have a nice big wok here. Now, if you don't have a wok, don't worry about it. You can make this recipe in a large saute pan as well. If it has high sides, even better. Once the wok is heated up, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. And then, as soon as that melts down, in goes the beef. Just break it up a little, mix it around. We're just gonna let this go for 4 or 5 minutes until it's browned on the outside and pretty much cooked exactly where you want it. Once your beef is looking good, see what I've got going on here? It looks delicious. I'm gonna get the beef out of the pan, and then I'm gonna add a little bit more coconut oil, and then toss in my veggies. So the onions, the peppers, and the broccoli. Give it a quick stir. I'm just gonna let these go for 3-4 minutes. Really, I'm just looking to get the raw edge off of them. And guys, you know, just for the record here, if you didn't want to work with beef, you can make this very same recipe with chicken. And feel free to use any veggies you have on hand. Mushrooms would be delicious, green beans, zucchini, anything you've got in the veggie drawer would be delicious in this type of stir fry. So once I've got that raw edge off the veggies, and you're gonna know it because all of the colors of the vegetables are gonna become really rich and bright and vibrant, then I'm adding my beef back into the pan, along with that finishing sauce we made before, which is basically like a soy ginger stir fry sauce. So pour that over the top, give this a stir, and let it just cook together. This will be another 3 or 4 minutes. You're just looking for everything to get warm. It's gonna get bubbly. All those flavors are gonna come together, and this stir fry is gonna be ready to serve. Now, today I'm serving this over some brown rice, but if you wanted to keep it low carb, you could do it over some cauliflower rice or even over some zoodles. Let's give this a try. nice tender beef, which is infused with that garlic flavor, with the fresh crunch of the broccoli and the ginger and the soy sauce. You guys have got to give this one a try. I promise you, it is so much better than takeout. I'm gonna leave the recipe down in the description box below, along with all the information for ButcherBox. So if you wanna take advantage of that promotion as well, $15 off your subscription, along with one free pack of uncured, sugar-free bacon. Make sure that you use code Clean and Delicious and use the link down below. Everything's down in the description box, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Danny Spies. I'll see you back here next time with some more clean and deliciousness. Cheers. Remember, this is just some soy sauce, some ginger, a little bit more cornstarch. Is that some of these things I wouldn't necessarily buy at the grocery store, but it helps me to experiment a little. Really? How are we doing?